and 77 and I-35. That's North Norman. That is South Moore. Tornado crossing I-35 right now near the York plant. Also down at Southeast 44th and Douglas. Report, was that power flashes, Robert? Yes. Report of power flashes at Southeast 44th and Douglas. And that would be the Midwest City area. I would say that area appears to be very close to 89th Street, around Douglas, and over toward Hiawassee. All in through there, down around 240 on the east side of the GM plant. Do we have Mark Dillard on the phone? Is Mark on the Gentner? Tornado emergency continues for South Oklahoma City, southern Oklahoma County, as well as Cleveland County, including Norman and Moore. Go, Mark.
To catch that other circulation that's coming through the Moore area, and now I'm getting hit by a mid-driving rain in between these two circulations here. Just about everything is a whiteout hurricane out here on 240, Mike. And that's the bottom line is I just really cannot make out any storm definition at all to the cloud, except back there at 240 where it looked like that thing had lifted and then it was going to try to start it again. I had started to have fingers coming down and a lot of lifting scud trying to spin back into it. But I'm in a flat-out hurricane right now, Mike, on 240 as I've got a driving wind and gusts of up to 75, 80 miles an hour. These two circulations. Back to you.
Okay, let's go back to John Welsh and the chopper. John?
Right. Hey, Mike, right now we're just south of the campus here, shooting back to the north. Actually, I'm just about a mile south of Postal Training Center there on Highway 9, shooting back into the north. We've got, you can kind of see from our vantage point, I'm trying to direct Travis in the same way, you have that scud and that lowering in there, heavy rain, and that's where we think if that tornado still is on the ground, it's still going to be there. That's going to be just from the York plant there. And as you kind of come down towards the south, you come in to the north side of Norman there. So I'm seeing some blocks, some square blocks that are completely without power. The bad thing here is Sunny Lane Road is packed, or Porter, and then you come to the east, either 12th Street Northeast or Sooner Road, depending on where you're at, as far north and south, is also packed. So if that tornado does continue to go that way, we're going to have a catastrophic nightmare because Sooner Road's 4 lanes, and it's 4 lanes. All southbound, Mike. So as you can see, just tons of white lights there, and this is not setting up to be a very good situation for the northeast side of Moore.
Got that. Northeast side of Moore, not too far from Hall Park, up in North Norman. It's east of I-35 now. It's going to be out around Bryant, Sunny Lane, and Tecumseh Road, Indian Hill Road, Bryant, Sunny Lane, Sooner Air Depot. Or East 12th, East 24th, back to Barry for a Norman address, Indian Hill, Tecumseh, right up there toward Hall Park, east of the York plant. Still show, it doesn't appear to be a strong tornado right through there, but still showing circulation in that area. North Norman now, far North Norman, at least pretty far North Norman right now. Doesn't appear to be really strong circulation, but it looks like it's a weaker tornado there. Do we still have Mark Dillard over there on 240?
Mike.
Go, Mark.
Yes, Mike. Just a flat-out hurricane going on down here on 240. I'm in between fighting these, trying to get to these that southern circulation. I'm coming up the Sooner right now, and I'm going to be heading south. But it's a difficult white-knuckle drive, Mike. That's the bottom line, folks. I don't know what else to say. It's just to get out of its way and get underground. This rain is just whipping down, Mike. I was almost blown off at 240 there for just a second. I've got gusts have got to be 85 plus down here, and I'm going to try to head down Sooner if I can. It may be shut down. I'm trying to see. We got a lot of emergency vehicles. We may have lost the power lines yet again, but now my winds are driving straight south along Sooner here. And we've got emergency crews running northbound, so I'm not sure what might have happened up toward the on north of 240 here. I've got a fire truck, several chief's units, and police running northbound. So not quite sure what might have happened up on the north side of 240 now. But we are heading south on Sooner. I might have to try to split the difference between these two cells and try to stay up with them going over to Shawnee. Back to you.
Okay, Mark, appreciate that. Let's go to Kevin Megg.
Thank you very much, Mike. And you've been hearing it. The roads out there are a real problem right now. Obviously, the traffic is an issue. We've got so many power lines down and so much damage. People can't get through. A lot of people out on the roads to begin with, which is causing a problem. We have been telling you, as you heard from Trooper Betsy Randolph from OHP, she said big problems at I-40, I-35, overturned semis and cars and injuries there. Also, we have word at I-40 and Banner Road, 6 to 9 people possibly transported. Semi drivers that had to be taken out of their semis there. It's a serious situation. And emergency crews, because of all the damage and the traffic, they are having a very difficult time getting through.
It's just so clogged up right now with damaged vehicles and people wanting to get out of the way and everything. So they're urging people to, if you hear us, don't get out and go try and find any of this stuff. Stay inside. Also, we want to tell you about, we haven't had any official damage reports from the western side of the metro like El Reno, but we did hear of this. Bank statements from the El Reno area floating into Luther. I mean, that's Canadian County all the way to the east side
quite a ways.
Of east side of Oklahoma County. So we're hearing about some things. We have no doubt we're going to get some serious damage reports coming in a little bit later. But right now we're trying to track where this thing is going and to get folks out of the way of that. We also have crews out looking for damage and any injuries as well. And
we've been talking about those power poles. You have heard about that, seen some pictures. Well, we now have word of 40,000 Metro residents without power. We believe those numbers will rise. That is being currently reported, that's what those without power. Another big problem out there is flash flooding. And we've been told that people at Crossroads Mall are actually stuck in the parking lot because of the flooding. And they are having a hard time getting out. And again, we're having a hard time with the rescue crews and emergency vehicles getting to those who do need help at this point in time. So if you have a loved one who you know is down in that area, please keep those cell lines, keep your cell phones right by you. Make sure you're in contact with that person because they may be having a tough time getting out of there.
At one point, we had 1,000 people, 1,000 in the tunnels underneath Will Rogers World Airport. The storm was coming that way, and they got 1,000 people under there. Also, at the hockey game, the Barons playoff hockey game, they had to get folks over to the Chesapeake Arena to keep them safe from the storm as well. All that, we believe, was handled very well.
Very well, and we believe that those people are safe. We want to go back over to Mike, who, of course, is watching all these tornadoes popping up on the ground and continuing. Mike.
Well, here's what we have right now, Meg. These tornadoes that we have here in the South Metro, I may be wrong, but they appear to be reasonably weak right now. There's one near Newcastle, there's one in northeast Norman, and there's one over here near Draper Lake. All three of these appear to be reasonably weak. I wouldn't say weak, but reasonably weak. The strongest one is out here by Minco. That has a tornado warning on it as well. Let's go to Lance West. He's out on the damage track out on I-40 with an update live. Lance?
Mike, we're traveling about 5 miles an hour in the westbound lanes of I-40. We finally made it. Boy, it is a mess out here. There's debris all over the interstate. We've seen several overturned vehicles. There appears to be a cattle ranch about 2 miles to the west of Banner Road on I-40 that took a direct hit. And the tin from that particular barn, it just spread all over the interstate, broken power lines and trees. There are highway patrol troopers out here all over the place trying to make sure that everyone's okay. But it's a mess, my friend. This is going to be a huge cleanup project, and we can just only hope and pray that there are no fatalities because there are cars all over the place.
Lance, appreciate that. Let's go back to the storm tracker. We're going to check with Mark Dillard here next. And coming up here. So this is strong circulation here. This is a dangerous storm out here by Minco, and it is traveling southeastward. So you see Bridge Creek over toward Newcastle, Lloyd Noble, over toward Washington and Noble, Lloyd Noble Center there, eventually down to the southeast. Down towards Slaughterville by 906. Here it is. It's 810 right now. So that one is heading down, still down toward Norman. Could even go a little south of Norman, down toward Blanchard, and then all the way down toward Purcell. That's the most dangerous storm right now. There is significant circulation here. I'd call it weak to moderate south of Newcastle and also northeast Norman, and also over here by Lake Draper. This one's really still spinning pretty vigorously here. Troy, what do you got? Let's go to the chopper here live. John Welsh, take the chopper. Go.
We got a ton. Look at those ton of power flashes. They're going to be either very north, right out Travis's window. They're going to be very north Moore, or they're going to be, very north Norman or south Moore. They look like they're going to be east of Center Road, so maybe Air Depot Road. and probably somewhere, just guessing here, like 164th, 178th for your east-west road. So maybe like, I guess that'd be like Franklin, that area. So like Air Depot in Franklin, maybe even a mile east of Air Depot, that area, big power flashes. And probably 4 or 5 minutes before that, we saw a bunch of power flashes again, look like by the York plant, maybe even right there just north of the Embassy Suites there, just north of the airport. We can see the rotating beacon in the background. It still had its power, so we're believed that the airport has power. However, just north of there, heavy or very bright power flashes, and it's pretty much raining so heavy right there, we can't even see if earlier when we'd see a power flash, we'd see almost a clear block that would go away. Now it's raining so heavy, we can't tell if it's just the rain or the flash, but there's still another storm coming in, or another tornado on the ground that's going to be south of Southmore, or kind of southeast Oklahoma City too, and the northeast Norman there, Mike.
Okay, John, appreciate that. I think we can see it in the velocities here. It's going to be a little ways east of 77 and a little ways maybe west of Sunny Lane, down around Tecumseh Road and near Indian Hill Road, like you said, to the east of the York plant. So we're talking about North Norman. Let's go to Mark Dillard. Still a strong circulation that is, well, it's reasonably strong, not too far from Stella, south of Hera and McLeod. Mark Dillard, near 240. Go.
Yes, Mike, I'm on Sooner. I've got power flashes to my south and west. In Moore, I just passed 34th Street in Moore. I'm on Sooner. It's going to be off to my south and west. I can't make it out to the ground, Mike, but it is. I had power flashes just as John was saying from the chopper. I could see power flashes off to my south and west. It's so dark and ramping up with rain. I just can't peg where it's at. Could be popping again, not connected directly from the cloud all the way to the base, but just popping and very violent at the bottom where it's popping trees. And power flash, large power flash now, Mike, to my almost due west and southwest. I'm going to have to pull up here, I'm afraid. Mike, I can't make it out through the trees on Sooner here. Trying to make it out. Gosh, I'm just passing. I know I'm south of 34th at what are the streets, buddy? I come up to Indian Hill, I believe. Okay, we got power flashes.
Mark, I would say that that's going to be on Berry Avenue near Rock Creek. Would you agree with that? Tecumseh, Rock Creek, Berry Avenue.
Yes, far north Norman, Southmore area. I'm going to have to get somewhere and get ahead of it again, Mike. I'm going to have to bail here. I got to get a main road and go. Okay, we're in Indian Hills. Okay, I'm turning. I'm going east on Indian Hills now. It's dropping down, Mike. It's dropping down right now, right behind me.
All right, this is a tornado now coming into North Norman. This is a tornado coming into North Norman North High School area. Max Westheimer. Yep, Rock Creek. Yep, Norman on the ground. Cross confirmation on the ground. Norman North High School, Norman Regional Hospital. Over toward Hall Park and then right down toward Norman High School. It appears to be heading almost due southward. John Welsh, do you see all that?
Yeah, Mike, we can. We saw several power flashes, and the thing that was odd is about a dozen of them were in the same spot. So it almost appears that it's stalled out. It looks like there's a fire. If Travis can zoom in there, he can't hear me. I'm on the phone. It almost looks like there's a fire in there from that power flash, and it looks like it's going to be some. It's kind of hard for us to tell exact location, but it looks like it's going to be about Sooner Road and maybe Rock Creek, Indian Hills, right in that area. But that same area that there was those heavy power flashes, those big bright ones. There were several in the same location. It looks like we have a fire, or maybe even it hit a natural gas line or something. You can kind of see it sparkling there in the shot. But that's going to be north of North Norman, very far southmore. I'm going to call it between Sooner Road and maybe Sunny Lane or Porter right there, Mike.
All right, we want to stay with your shot. This is a tornado now in North Norman. Rock Creek Road, Berry Avenue, right in through there. Next road south is Robinson and then Main Street. So Berry Avenue over to East 12th, West 24th Street. You're looking at it here from the chopper. Let's go back to Mark Dillard here. Mark, do you still have it?
Yes, Mike. I'm looking off to my west and southwest. Still got power flashes. I'm going down Air Depot, which is northeast 24th, I believe, from Indian Hills. I'm going to try to make it south so I can see back into it. Okay, I'm heading south right now, but I'm still seeing intermittent power flashes to my west and southwest now. Okay, this thing is going to be on the ground, folks. If you live out in North Norman, to the east of the York plant area, east of the Duke County Jail area, take cover now. The bottom line on this deal, probably intermittently connected to the ground, Mike. I can't see a cone all the way down, but I have really no definition to the wrapping rain. But I do have power flashes intermittently to my west and southwest as I'm now traveling south on 24th, trying to look back at it. Back to you.
Okay, John Welsh has got a visual on it. John, you can see it right now.
Yeah, Mike, we can see it, and it looks like it's going to be just to the east, about 1 mile. Several big power flashes that's going to be back towards the west of Sooner Road. It looks like that fire that we saw earlier was on the east side of Sooner Road, but it appears that we have another tornado on the ground, west side of Sooner Road. I'm going to call it about in between Sunny Lane and Sooner Road, just estimating here, somewhere about the Indian Hills. And look at that, Mike. All the lights went out. We just lost all power to that area. So I'm going to call it just north of Indian Hills, somewhere between Indian Hills or southeast 34th Street in that area. So this definitely, if you're still in the Southmore or North Norman area, between, like, I'm going to say Bryant or Porter, all the way, a mile east of Air Depot Road, this thing is still on you. Be in your shelter. And we're going to stay right here and obviously follow it, but we're still seeing a lot of power flashes. And it appears we have a fire in the same area there, Mike.
Okay, tornado in North Norman. It's going to be just really up and down 77, maybe there on the eastern sides of I-35. Eastbound Highway 9 is gridlocked. A lot of people out in the roads.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, Bob Moore Chopper 4 there. Let's take that. Yeah, there's the gridlock. A lot of folks are out here. It's a Friday evening. A lot of folks are out. John, let's stay with your shot. Let's just talk to you here. Power flashes continue in North Norman.
Yep, heavy power flashes. Got super dark. I can't see our shot, obviously, but it is so dark in there. And just north, that's not the rain anymore. I mean, part of it is the rain. However, as soon as that last power flash we hit, everything north of, like, what I would say would be like Indian Hills or 240 is gone as far as the power. It just completely got blacked out. We can see a definite lowering of the cloud right there. It appears it's going to be just a few miles, 2 or 3 miles north of the Postal Training Center there, which is on Highway 9. But we're still seeing tons of power flashes in the same area. It's almost like this, if it is a tornado on the ground, it's kind of stalled out, and it's just sitting there ripping and grinding that whole area. So, if you're still in this area, definitely stay in your shelter. We plead with you. Stay in your shelter. Stay out of the ground. My wife texted me a minute ago and asked we get out. I told her, no, stay put. So if you're in this area, you're listening to us on radio, you're able to watch us on TV, you got some buzz on, stay in the air or stay underground, stay in your storm shelter. This storm is not through. We're still seeing several power flashes, and the roadways are completely congested. So hunker down. Do not try and get out, because if this thing continues to cross and goes and hits Center Road there, Mike, it's going to be catastrophic for several people. We got four lanes. All looks like they're going southbound. So, stay in your area there, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. The report there from Norman with the tornado still going through Norman. There's another really significant circulation over by Twin Lakes and Fire Lake Grand Casino, right? Fire Lake Grand Casino over on 40 near the county line, the Pottawatomie County line, far southeastern Oklahoma County, far northeastern Cleveland County. That's the lead storm that produced the tornado in South Oklahoma City. And there's still a significant circulation there as well. So you folks in Shawnee and Tecumseh, stay alert. Stay alert. There is a tornado warning in effect for Pottawatomie County for that storm. That's Twin Lakes, Dale, Shawnee, Tecumseh, the Stella area east of Draper Lake, but Twin Lakes, Dale, Shawnee, Tecumseh. You folks stay alert there, as there is a tornado warning for Pottawatomie County, and that is the lead circulation that produced the tornado in South Oklahoma City, and it continues to track toward Shawnee OBU. So Pottawatomie County, you folks still continue with a tornado warning there. Let's go back to Mark Dillard with an update. Mark?
Yes, Mike. Still watching for power flashes off to my due west now. We're on 36 heading south, trying to hit Highway 9 where we can at least get some east-west access so I can look at this thing without having to bail on it so fast. My winds are just crazy out here, Mike. We're whipping back into this thing. Coming up, give me 1 second. I'll have the intersection here. Okay.
All right. Let's go to Adam Mertz about the bad flooding problem we have going on. Adam?
Yeah, Mike, we are on Council Road right by I-40, right almost where you get into the outlet malls here, and the flooding right up this portion of Council is anywhere between, at some points, at least a foot, but at other points, 3 to 4, or depending upon where you're at. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Just anywhere between about 1 to 3 feet. We have a couple cars stuck in some of this flooding. They've stopped because they simply cannot get through this area. There are several businesses around here that are also closed, but the flooding is certainly a problem right here at I-40 and Council Road. So certainly avoid this area completely.
Appreciate that, Adam. Flash flood warnings in effect for Oklahoma and Canadian County as well as Cleveland County. A serious flooding situation. The rain continues to come down along with large hail. Biggest hail is in the South Metro right now. Let's go back to John Welsh and Bob Moore Chopper 4. John, still right over Norman, really. I mean, directly over like the OU campus heading straight southbound. What are you seeing through there?
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of heavy lightning right now, which pretty much allows us to see the scud cloud. We haven't seen any funnels or anything drop out when we get the lightning flash in the background, but it kind of helps us illuminate and see the backside of that storm. But it's pretty much it's set over Norman. And it's almost like this thing is just taking pretty much a straight south track. I've kind of had to move all the way down to the south of David J. Perry Airport. I'm actually just south of the Riverwind Casino, shooting back up to the north. And this thing just continues to push us down south. But we got a lot of rain up there. We haven't seen any power flashes in the last few minutes. We're over I-35 and about the Riverwind Casino, shooting back to the north. And it's just it looks like a monsoon, a tornado, you know, all in a hurricane, all wrapped up into one. It's a very terrible sight. So definitely this area is nothing to play with here, Mike.
All right, John, appreciate that. We're showing the highest velocity wind shear. It appears to be on the east side of Norman, but we're also showing some really high velocity winds out of the north through Norman right now. So it's either a tornado or it's damaging straight line winds. We're showing winds in the 80-mile-per-hour range. So, yeah, those are the velocities right there out of the north. So this is damaging straight line winds on the backside of the hook, which is over the east central to central parts of Norman. But this is a high velocity north wind here. Some of that may be the power flashes that we're seeing, but the tornado warning very much continues for McLean and for Cleveland County, also for Pottawatomie County. Let's go to the south Doppler here and take a look at Norman again, a little closer look. So you can clearly see the hook. You can clearly see the hook through here, right through here, and this is all inflow right here. So right over the OU campus is where that all is focused. So you want to be away from windows, completely away from any windows all around the OU campus. It is heading straight southbound through Norman right now. Let's go back to John Welsh and take a look. John, what do you have?
Yeah, Mike, right now we had to kind of break away this cloud. We have a huge shelf cloud that's kind of coming over, and it's pushing all the way down into Purcell. I'm just north of Purcell. Just in between Purcell and Lexington. We're kind of shooting back towards the north, and the OU campus, that whole area is black. It is extremely violent here, heavy wind, at least moderate turbulence here. The whole town of Norman is black. We can barely see the Highway 9, the east-west road there on the south side of town. Tons and tons of lightning. We haven't seen any power flashes in the last few minutes, however. It appears that there is still a lot of heavy rain. And what you're showing on radar, there still could be a tornado in there. The thing that we can't see is through all the rain and the scud and everything else. So some of those power flashes are kind of masked by just the sheer darkness of the storm. And as night falls, we're not getting any ambient light on the backside of it. So it's definitely a scary situation there over more. And we're going to call it the heaviest stuff is going to be probably just a mile north of Highway 9 there, Mike.
Okay, appreciate that. Significant circulation continues over by New Walla. So that's heading for Shawnee. There's the storm tracker, And let's do a track edit on that. It's still significant circulation over New Walla, heading for Shawnee. So you folks over there, that is a tornado warning continuing for your storm. And that is going to be for Shawnee and Tecumseh and OBU and down toward Earlsboro. It's in the Twin Lakes area right now. That's a significant circulation right now going on over to the east, over there around Bethel Acres and Twin Lakes. Let's go to Kevin and Meg.
Thank you, Mike. Well, a big problem is these storms and these tornadoes continue, and emergency crews are trying to get to people who need them. We do have someone on the phone. He is a general manager for EMSA.
Jim Wenham. Jim, what's the situation?
Well, of course, as you well, it's not good, and it's still developing. With the heavy rain and the flooding, it is difficult to get around. Most of the streets that I've been through have seen very significant flooding. I've seen sporadic damage. We have the majority, if not all, of our ambulances out working the streets right now. It's very difficult for them to get around, again, due to the weather, due to the water, and we are getting to the patients as quick as we can. Most of the patients that we have seen have been out in the west part of the city. I don't have any injury specifics right now. But we're continuing operations. We have most everybody on our rosters have came in and trying to handle the situation as quickly and as best as we can.
Jim, do you have any idea from these injuries that are coming in how serious the injuries are and where they're coming from? What particular communities?
I don't have the specific communities right now, and I don't have the damage, the areas that they're coming from. We've had a couple of critical injuries. We've had some minor injuries, just kind of the whole gamut so far. We're still assessing those. Our primary mission right now is to get to the people that need help, which we're doing, and getting them to definitive care just as quickly and as best as we can do, and we'll continue to do that.
Real quickly, are you hearing a lot of vehicle injuries? Is that a big factor?
I personally have not seen any. I have heard through some radio traffic that earlier when this event started, especially toward the west, there were some vehicle damage, some people injured in vehicles that were either flipped or caught in the tornado or things along those lines. But as far as vehicle accidents, I haven't seen any of those in Oklahoma City proper yet.
All right. Well, thank you, Jim Wenham. We appreciate it. He is with EMSA, and we appreciate all the work that you are doing and will be doing throughout the night and tomorrow.
You see our Latasha Gibbons right there in the 2-box with us. Latasha, where are you? What happened? I saw one of your tweets that folks were breaking down doors to try and get away from this storm.
Well, I can barely hear you, but I'm at 89th and Penn at an on-queue, and there are so many people here. They came here to ride out the storm. When they arrived, the store was actually closed. Like many of the businesses, the power is out. But let me show you something. We were told the door was locked. People were so afraid they actually busted through the glass to run inside and take cover. If you come over here, you can see the parking lot is gridlocked. I would say there's at least 50 cars here inside and at least 30 families inside the on-queue in the bathroom, still afraid. There are families here from Yukon. I talked to another man whose mother and wife actually rode out the storm at the Moore Medical Center last week. So people here are very afraid, and that broken door is just a representation of that.
What are people doing now? They can't get out, so what's the next move?
Well, people, they're watching our live stream on Kfor.com, and they're trying to figure out if they can leave when they can. A lot of people are on their cell phones, texting their family members, trying to figure out where everyone was. Again, there are a lot of people from all over the metro who stopped here to take cover. You actually can't even get in the parking lot anymore. It's just covered on all exits. And if you look further out, you can see it's very dark out there because the power is just out, and this is the only place that a lot of people came to take cover. The manager here has been very accommodating, and even though people are afraid, they're calm, but they're definitely on edge, not sure of what was going to happen.
All right, Latasha, thank you very much. We'll continue to follow that from there. We have an urgent message from EMSA. All night crews need to report to 2323 South Walker. Is that what you said, Natalie? 2323 South Walker. We've also had a report, Meg, while you were talking to Latasha was getting this information, that the power is out at Will Rogers World Airport. Now, we told you 1,000 people down in the tunnel there to stay safe from the tornado as it came through. Power is out at Will Rogers, as is these other areas as well. Everybody's okay. They've had a few leaks there, a little bit of rain getting in, but they're all right at Will Rogers World Airport.
Those numbers are coming in very heavy, obviously. And what we are learning